All right, today I'm going to review both the Koala.AI writer as well as the SEO writing AI tool, primarily for content creation. And I have a keyword that I want to just more or less challenge both writers against each other. One of the main things that led me to want to review the different content writers out there, I got Jasper a couple years ago, whenever it first came out. I used that for a while, really liked having the power of AI on top of directly writing articles and things like that for publishing on my blog. Then I added in to that Surfer, and Surfer, brought this other level of understanding, but it was really frustrating in terms of being able to get the two to synchronize, and having one tool understand SEO and the other tool, generate the article, just didn't seem to make a lot of difference. And a lot of these new tools that are coming out are combined. So they are an SEO plus writing tool, and really combining those two things together. And I feel like we're getting a little bit better quality out as well in terms of the different things that are out there. I then moved to SurgeGraph. Loved SurgeGraph for, about a year and a half. And, that was great to have. But then, I started seeing tools like SEO writing as I've been using that for a while. And I just thought, as I start to experiment with Koala.AI, that I would then bring in that addition as well. And so as I start to look at these different tools, you can make your own determination for what works best for you. But I also will show you some differences that I clearly see between the two tools. So this is the Koala tool. It's $9 for the essential plan. It includes things like images and real-time factual data and things like that in the $9 plan, but not very many words, right? So 15,000 words. So if you're averaging about 2,000 words per article, you can make your own estimations there. You get about 7 or so articles out before you have to, sort of renew your plan or upgrade. Then the next level is essentially more words. You also get this Koala chat, additional credits per month that you can utilize as well. And then lastly, with regards to the professional plan, on the right, you get 100,000 words per month, and you get 1,000 messages to the Koala chat. But you also get this thing called the Koala magnet. So you can make like these lead magnets for on your website and things like that, that more or less, leverage again the power of AI and the things that could be done with that. And so, it's an interesting addition that I don't think many other tools like this have. Now, as we come over to SEO writing, so this is SEO writing's annual plan. So they do 59 a month if you go with the professional plan, $14 a month, and they also have a $0 a month. So they have a free, way to get started as well, which is nice when, especially if you're not using a lot of these things. But the only thing is that I would caution you with is that you are limited in terms of the GPT models that you're using. And so with that, it sort of, might skew your view, I believe, in terms of the output a little bit, unless you go with one of the paid plans. The things that I see overall in these plans, one of them is this humanizing the text. You can make it so that it's at a sixth grade level. So that way you're not having to use other tools like Hemingway and others to try and, make the article more readable and things like that. And so, from my perspective, it makes it a little bit easier. Also having the ability to, just go through and do some level of tweaking as the article gets created, helps you a little bit more. And so this outline editor is offered here, but it's also offered, I believe, on the Koala side. And so, to me, it's pretty equivalent, but at the same time, having that ability, especially whenever you're writing specialized things, then oftentimes will lead you to having to rewrite or delete less in that process. And then take a look at the $59 plan. So you get up to 250 articles on the $59 plan, which essentially, is an awful lot of articles for any one person. I mean, if you're having to read, edit, and publish each one of those, and those are a lot. It's a lot of articles to have to grind through. But at the same time, I know that there are a lot of people that are wanting to put a lot of content out there. I would just caution anybody with either of these tools as you start to think through using either of these tools, one of the things I would caution anybody against is really you're just taking the output of what comes at you and just putting it out on the internet. I know that there are people that are doing that as an experiment and things like that. I don't have anything against experimentation, but at the same time, and I think most of us have seen unedited AI content that just gets published, and oftentimes it just has inconsistencies or inaccuracies, and those things just lead you to not wanting to read it. And so the whole idea is that you're creating something that answers people's questions, and then at the end of the day, also helps them. So the article that we're going to feed into both of these systems is why is content marketing important? So I'm going to go to the Koala Writer first. We're going to go through each section of this to just talk about the Koala Writer. And then from that, then we're going to come back and do the same exact thing with the SEO writing assistant. So the first thing is Turbo came out recently. It uses a bit more words, but we will get a higher level of quality out of what it generates. So essentially the things that we had to choose from here in terms of the post types are a blog post, a product roundup, a single product review, YouTube video to blog post, or rewrite a blog post. So those are the things that you can do with a Koala Writer. The target keyword for us is going to be, why is content marketing important? We are going to do the SEO optimization AI powered so that it hopefully, deals with that as well. I have my website linked up here, so we're going to use that. And essentially it's looked through the sitemap, and then it's looked through the blog post that I have, and has selected those areas of the sitemap as areas that it will go through and then, double check. I'm not going to, sort of limit it here. So I'm going to say, go ahead and add both videos and images. I do want to sort of prevent it from creating a lot of images though. And I guess I'll say 3 images and 2 videos is what I would allow it to do. I also oftentimes, sort of do a lot of, like watercolor, photo, those sort of things as the defaults for a lot of these tools. It just, kind of it matches my personality and the things that I select. I want this written in a third person. I do want them to use the FAQ section, and we'll do key takeaways as well. Under the advanced tab here, there are a couple other things that I'm not going to bother with, but you can have other URLs that you want to link to, any sort of custom outline that you want to provide it. If you want an extra prompt title, you can do that. You can have extra section titles. You can also disable the introduction or disable the conclusion. I'm not going to do any of that either. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and create this article, and then I'll come back and show you the article. All right, so it's back. It created an article called "Why is Content Marketing Important? Unveiling its Strategic Role in Business Growth." You can see some of this highlighted text here. These are actually links out to my blog posts already on the company site. So, I really appreciate, the fact that it went through and linked through things. I've been going through several of these links to make sure that things are, really make sense in terms of the stuff that it's provided. But I mean, this is straight out of the overall generator here for Koala, and I feel like it did a really nice job. And it pulled in, videos as well. I've been a little cautious in doing this with other tools, and SEO writing specifically has caused me issues before with doing this. I would suggest that anybody that's going to publish anything coming out of these things, that you're viewing it and, like, making sure that whatever it is that it's talking about, makes sense and matches your brand and things like that. But the reality is that in terms of the SEO writing example that I've seen before, they actually had foreign language videos, so videos that were not in English. I'm in America, and they're not in English. And unfortunately, those videos immediately just had to be deleted. And it didn't make much sense for what was written and then put into the article in that case. But again, another reason why you want to edit these things. It's not something you just want to turn around and stick back out there. Again, I see a lot more sort of links here. Great to have that cross linking going on. And then also external links, outside of my website that are happening inside of the article. And then lastly, more videos. As we said originally, it was going to be 3 pictures and 2 videos. So that as of right now, I believe I've seen the 2 videos. So, and that was probably the last picture that will be in here. And we're sort of getting to the end now. I'm not really reading this in front of you, but the reality is I felt like the article, as I just skimmed through it, looked to me like it was relatively good. It has a frequently asked questions section at the very end. The other thing let's double check for is, does it have key takeaways? It does. So that was up front. And yeah, so I feel like the Koala writer did a really good job given our keyword in terms of wanting to define content marketing. And next up we're gonna go to SEO writing and have it do the same exact thing. All right, so now we're inside of SEO writing. You can see that there's a few things that you could do inside of here. I do the buttons and the layout inside of SEO writing. To me, it's just a very nice UI that they have in a couple of different fronts. I wanted to point out one other thing because we're not going to actually more specifically cover this in any other way here, but for bulk article generation, right? So you could load in your keywords in a list in Koala. You could also, in this case, bring in an entire table, right? So you could have the keyword, the title, and then any other sort of sub keywords loaded into a table outside of SEO writing, and then bring that into here. So the difference between these two tools is that I see anyway. One, in Koala, you could bring in the keywords, you could have comma separated list and essentially bring that into Koala. It'll do the same thing, bulk article generate. Just you're not going to be able to define the title. Inside of SEO writing, it's more like a table, and you're doing this thing where you add a row. And essentially, let's say I had 50 articles, I would just paste the very first cell essentially right here under main keyword, and it would fill out the entire thing for 50 articles. A very efficient tool to be able to use like that. And then now it has all the same settings that you're going to see in a moment with regards to article generation. So I felt like this is one key differentiator that's a plus, I feel like, for SEO writing. All right, we're going to come back to this one-click blog post here. Our keyword again is, why is content marketing important? And I'm going to have it generate the title here so that it's more or less doing that as a part of its process. So I clicked the button, generate title. It came up with, why is content marketing important for your business? And let's see. So we are going to leave it as friendly, but you do have the way to get like professional, informational, transactional, etc. You'll see one change that I am going to make down below that makes it, I would believe, a little bit more professional. I am going to change the model back to GPT-4, so that way we'll get that. I am going to select the point of view here as third person, so it'll be similar to the other article, and the perspective will be the same. I'm also going to select humanize the text. This is what I meant earlier on, that I see this as a differentiator between the two tools, that this offers the 6th grade essentially easy to read conversational style. And I didn't see that in the other model. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't somehow add it to Koala. I believe that you can, but at the same time, we're not doing that in this case. I am going to have it add the 3 images here. I'll change the photo style so that it's much more like an abstract. We'll get it to do some form of abstract. I didn't see watercolor or anything like that like we had in Koala, which was a nice style. Then for YouTube videos, I'm going to select 2, but again, we're going to watch for the videos that this tool picks up, because before it wasn't as accurate, and we'll see if maybe that's been corrected since I've seen that issue with the foreign language videos coming up. I'm not going to change anything in terms of the keywords to include in the text. My hope is that I could just use the NLP button that's here, and that it will bring down some additional keywords to add into the text. And so I've done that. I do love to add this statistical fact. Just having this ability to click a button and say, make it start with a question, make it start with a statistical fact or a quotation. I just feel like it starts the article off in a really nice way, giving you this fact up front.
In terms of these, so conclusion, yes. Tables, yes. I want H3 text and lists, yes. Italics, sure. I don't want any quotes. And the reason why, in my view, is what I've seen with quotes. When you use them with this tool, it makes up a person in a company, and sometimes it makes up the company as well. And so the whole thing just leads to a lot more editing whenever I leave that on. It has the ability to have external linkings. I do want to do that. I want it to, go ahead and create some external links, at least one or two at the bottom. It could use the basic web and do some level of searches. And then, yes, I want it to do that. Now, the one thing that you'll notice is that it's not pulling in links from my blog yet. It doesn't have that ability at this point in time, but so that's just something that it can't do. And then lastly, I have the ability to publish it in draft. And this is what I do a lot of times with all of these things is I have it published directly to WordPress in draft form. And then I slowly go through and chip away at the articles that are in draft form over time. Oftentimes I'll do this on one day, and then over several days I'll be editing articles trying to get them up either for myself or a client. It just gives you a great way to bulk create things and then just edit through in the background and have everything ready and then get it up and published for closing keyword gaps for you or for a client. And so anyway, so that essentially is it for this. Now the button for creating the article is right here at the very top. I'm going to click this and we will come back in just a second in internet time and you will get to see the finished output from SEO writing. All right, let's open up this article and have a look at what was generated here overall. The one thing that I honestly also, just to go through one other quick mention here, I could click on the show meta tags at the top of this article, and it shows me a suggested meta description and then also the title, right? There's an opportunity, again, to just cut down if you're moving things to your blog and things like that. It's just another thing that you don't have to do. It'll already be populated for you and taken care of as a part of SEO writing. I feel like that's another distinct advantage. We asked it to start with some level of a statistic, and what it's created here, 70% of folks like to learn about products through content, not ads. This is where smart digital marketing shines. And just to me is something that you'd have to go back and fact check a little bit and make sure that you either know where things are coming from or whatever. But that is one thing that is nice to have is that number up front creates some added interest in terms of the article. This image, one of the reasons why I don't like some AI images is because of the fact that they include words, and some of them are nonsensical words. So in this case, you can just see it's not a bad picture. Does this really spell marketing? No, it does not. And then it has a lot of sort of nonsense words around it. And you could leave that stuff up. And I have before because I've gotten frustrated trying to source other images and things like that in the process. Occasionally I'll go back and clean things up throughout time, but that is one thing that bothers me. You go through the article, it's not a bad article. They also, in this, they source some video from Neil Patel, which obviously he definitely would know content marketing as well as a part of it. I'd want to check the video and make sure that it really talks about content marketing, just to, again, you just make sure that it really represents what it says it is. Here again, another very weird image. Not sure what that exploding thing is on the left. The guy even with his right hand has weird fingers. Just the whole thing overall, and I don't know what it is that causes these, but oftentimes whenever you ask for any sort of image, I feel like in this tool, you can 100% guarantee that you're going to have to at least clean up some of them. Maybe not all, but at least some. Okay, so here's Gary V, and he's got a thing here on how to get better conversion rates on your marketing campaign. So whether or not if that relates to what this article is, again, I don't really specifically know. I'd want to watch the video just to make sure. And then you come down here, nice tables, another picture with gibberish in it, and then really nice conclusion, an FAQ, and then at the very bottom, down here, they have some nice external links. I feel like it did a good job, and this is what I've been looking at, recently with a lot of articles that we pull together. And again, with the some of the outline editors and things like that, we have to use those for more specific articles whenever it's industry specific and things like that. But these sort of bulk generation tools result in these approaches, and so you just have to continually come back and look and edit it and things like that. Just to do the final comparison of the two tools and which one I actually prefer. So, all in all, for the last few months, as I said, I've been using SEO writing. I've been consistently using it, and people that I know more and more have been suggesting that I try out Koala. And so, for that reason, I wanted to give it a try. I gave it a try today, and honestly, I'm impressed. And so, I really like what it produced. I'm going to give it a try. I'm essentially going to give it a try for the next couple months and see exactly, which one do I want to choose. The one thing that I would say to anybody that's in this space where you're doing content creation and you're needing to go back and you leverage tools like this, we're just going to have to be in a level of experimentation for a while and trying different tools and figuring out what is it that we like and don't like about certain tools. And hopefully through all of this, the one that comes out, that is the supreme tool to use for content creation will come along. But at the same time, it's 90% easier than it used to be to write an article. And now a lot of it is thinking and sourcing maybe some other things that add a little bit of flair that really makes the article at the end of the day yours. And so with that, I'll leave it to you to go choose which one that you would prefer. Let me know down in the comments which one you like. And also, if you have any other tools that you'd like for me to try, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. If this video has been helpful to you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.